Hello everyone, today we'll be learning Sejarah Form 4 Chapter 2 Nasionalisme. Of course, I cannot cover the entire chapter, it's a very long one. Tapi the first part we study is takrifan nasionalisme. Apakah maksud nasionalisme? So ada banyak tokoh yang memberikan pendapat mereka, so remember what they are lah. But some students, they ask me, teacher, what's the difference between nasionalisme and patriotisme? Why don't we use patriotisme instead? So this is actually based on, in a sense, some of it is my understanding, my own opinion lah. Patriotisme is more of a passive kind of thing. It's like, I love my country even though it's not perfect. But nasionalisme is like, I love my country, I must make it perfect. So nasionalisme biasanya lah, kita ada gerakan, kita ada satu jenis macam, we have a movement to bring some changes to the country, which we call reform lah, reformasi. Kita nak tukar sesuatu. Jadi biasanya dalam konteks bab ini, kebanyakan dia ialah untuk menentang penjajahan, is to fight off the colonizers. Like especially in Malaysia lah, so we are fighting off the British. So that's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn about all these countries, right? And what they are fighting against. Like for example, Vietnam fight against France and all that. Tetapi in some countries, right, yang tak pernah kena jajah, contohnya macam Thailand, right? So Thailand, dia punya nasionalisme tu dia berbeza. Dia nak perubahan dari segi macam pemerintahan dia. So they want to kind of like kurangkan kuasa raja yang mempunyai kuasa mutlak lah, right? The king has absolute power over there and they want to reduce it a little bit. And then in Japan, alright, so Japan pula, it's not about fighting against penjajahan but trying to prevent it. Sebab apa yang kita nampak ialah Jepun tu, dia tengoklah semua negara-negara dekat Asia ni, especially Southeast Asia lah, sudah kena jajah, already got colonized by the Western powers. So the Japanese look at themselves and think, hey, if we don't improve, if we don't do anything about it, we will be next. Jadi dia jalankan satu proses pemodenan, right, dan akhirnya dia menjadi kuasa industri yang sangat kuat. And in the end, they became what they hated, which is they become kuasa imperialist. So they also impose their will onto other countries. Now, if you guys are asking, cikgu, apakah itu imperialisme? Imperialisme ialah satu dasar oleh sebuah negara untuk meluaskan kuasa, biasanya dengan mengawal negara lain. So usually you try to control another country. You know what the British does lah, they come over, they exert their control over other countries using their power. So it's like, you may think, oh teacher, does that mean that they will attack other country? Will they use their army, fight off and all that, right? It depends. If necessary, they will do exactly that. But as we know, the British tends to be a little bit more like, fighting is the last resort. Dia cuba bincang dulu. Alright, if bincang can cow him, then everything is fine. So the British has been all over the world, and we will learn more a little bit about it later lah. Alright, so that is the gist of it, the beginning of nationalism. So kita akan belajar negara-negara tertentu sahajalah. And I think we are going to talk firstly about the Revolusi Keagungan, the first three lah. Alright, you got the Glorious Revolution 1688. You have the Revolusi Amerika, and finally we have the Revolusi Perancis. This is the one that started everything. So for Revolusi Keagungan, which happened in 1688, apa yang berlaku ialah Raja James II, dia mengubah undang-undang, membelakangkan parlimen, which means, right, he enact a new law without the knowledge or without the partaking, without the influence by the parliament. So the parliament are unhappy about this, because parliament ni dia dipilih oleh rakyat melalui pilihan raya. So they are supposed to be the voice of the people. So the king has basically ignored the people, because parliament is wakil rakyat. Jadi dengan sokongan Mary dan juga the husband, William of Orange from Belanda lah, right? So Mary is the daughter of Raja James II. Raja James II terpaksa larikan diri ke Perancis kerana kehilangan sokongan. He knows the tide has turned against him, so he has to leave. So if you're asking kenapa dia pergi Perancis, I'll tell you guys a little bit later, but right after this lah. But basically, the Mary and William, they managed to what do you call it? So Mary and William, they rose to the throne, dia naik takhta, dan lepas ni kita ada Bill of Rights, iaitu parlimen sekarang dia mempunyai kuasa untuk mengubah undang-undang, memungut cukai. Basically is to menegakkan kedaulatan, parlimen dan hak rakyat. So now going back to Perancis lah, why did they accept King James II? It's because for France, right? I mean, to be honest, at that time especially, France and England, they don't like each other, so they are rivals. And France was thinking of this as an opportunity to destabilize England, because masih ada penyokong Raja James II dalam kalangan rakyat. Not 100% want to chase him out of England, you know. Some of them actually are loyal to him. Jadi Perancis ni, dia harapkan, maybe this king, kalau dia balik ke England, dia kata, I should be the, I should be on the throne right now. So mungkin ada orang akan sokong dia, dan ini akan menyebabkan perpecahan dari dalaman. Alright, so France was basically expecting Raja James II to wage war on England to get back his throne. So kalau jadi tak apa, as long as the people are huru-hara, then France can probably take advantage lah. But it didn't happen, because Raja James II memang, dia tak ada sokongan. And actually, to be honest lah, right, he actually doubt himself a lot. Dia ada banyak macam, dia tak yakin dengan diri sendiri. Because he's a king, he lost his throne. It's like, it's really bad for your mental health lah. So at the time, I guess there's no therapies. But now, it's okay not to be okay. Alright, go seek help while you can. So the next one is the American Revolution lah. Yang ni berkaitan dengan dia menentang pemungutan cukai. Because the people in America, they were actually from Britain. So dari Britain dia pergi ke America, they colonize the area lah. So dia buatlah aktiviti-aktiviti ekonomi kat sana. Tapi British mengenakan cukai yang banyak, seperti akta gula, akta stamp, akta pelayaran, akta teh, I think. And the people revolted kerana walaupun mereka sebenarnya orang British, alright, you might say they are Americans, but they are actually British. They go to America, dia tak ada wakil di Parliament British, the one that we talked about just now, managed to chase out the king. So the parliament is very powerful, but inside there, the bunch of people sitting there, none of them represents America. So America ni dia tak ada hak untuk bersuara, dia tak ada wakil dia. Jadi dia kata no taxation without representation. Alright, tiada cukai tanpa perwakilan, and with the help of the French. So we go back to the French. Perancis ni dia bagi weapon kepada petani-petani, all these orang biasa in British, in America, I mean. And then fight, and the British actually left America, and America eventually declared independence in 1776. Dia akhirnya diiktiraf a few years later lah by the British. Before that, the British are still thinking, are you kidding me? This area still belongs to me. I just left for a while. Now I'm coming back, and America's like, no. We got our country already. This is our country already. Get lost. So eventually now, right, dia diiktiraf, and until now to this day, America and Britain are good friends. Right, they are still allies, because in the end they came from the same place. Okay, so then we have the French Revolution 1792, bersifat anti-raja. So when the Perancis, right, dia beri bantuan kepada America managed to merdekakan themselves. Alright, so there are two effects. One, the people are, this can be done, no? You can chase away the king, no? Alright, even though you're just petani biasa dan sebagainya. And the second one is actually, the French suffered from what we call financial losses because they have to buy weapons. They are helping out the Americans, right? So this is not cheap. Jadi Perancis ni, dia tak banyak duit. So how do they make money? Dia introduce new cukai kepada orang bawahan. So orang bawahan, the people down there, they are already suffering a lot lah, right? These are all the normal people like you and I. Dia suddenly tambah cukai some more, and then what they see is the king is living very lavishly, hidup mewah. Dan kita ada golongan bangsawan juga, he living very happily. So this is something that they cannot accept lah. Jadi akhirnya mereka menggulingkan kerajaan sendiri and menjadi what call republic. So tak ada monarki, tak ada king, there's no king. They've killed all of them already with the guillotine. And ini dipengaruhi oleh a few ahli pemikir, the falsafah, Rousseau and Voltaire. Hak rakyat, suara umum, these are all the keywords. So there you go guys, it started in Europe actually, and it would eventually reverberate, it would actually travel throughout the land.